Hello, my name is Father Eugene Ritz. I'm a priest of the Diocese of Allentown. I serve currently as our vicar for clergy and in our diocesan tribunal as a judge. I live at St. Joseph the Worker Parish in Orfield. However, I previously lived here at St. Anne Parish in Bethlehem in the Christmas city, and joining me in a moment on this video will be Father Anthony Mongiello, the pastor here and the Dean of Northampton County. I was asked to speak about my favorite Advent hymn, and the reason I love this hymn is because of the story behind it. This is one of those seasons where we remember all of humanity is on a search for God, and that search is sometimes not easy. This is the story of a Lutheran pastor in Germany in the 16th century, Philipp Nicolai. He was born the son of a Lutheran minister. He followed in his father's footsteps into that ministry. And when he was at his parish in Westphalia, between July 1597 and January 1598, it is said that he buried almost 1,300 parishioners due to the epidemic that raged in that region in Europe. And those months were terrible. He took consolation in reading St. Augustine's The City of God, and instead of losing hope and despairing, what he did was begin to meditate on the coming of Christ into the world, which is what, of course, the season of Advent is all about. He wrote that his reflections, in them nothing seemed, and these are his words, nothing more sweet or delightful or agreeable than to contemplate the noble, sublime doctrine of eternal life. He wrote that day by day he wrote out meditations, and that he found himself, thank God, comforted in his heart, joyful in his spirit, and truly content. And when he finished those reflections, he gave those manuscripts a name called the Mirror of Joy. And he said that mirror of joy, those texts were left behind him, that should he be called from this world like so many of his parishioners, they could be a token of his joyful, peaceful Christian departure to eternal life. Or he says, if God should spare me in health, which he did, that his words might comfort one another, especially those who suffer. And his words have been comforting us now for centuries throughout the Christian world. In the hymn that he wrote, both words and music, the night represents the time before Christ's return. And the call to wake up is the reminder to be prepared spiritually. You'll hear in a moment Father Mongiello sing two of the verses of this hymn. The first one comes from St. Matthew's Gospel and the parable of the wise and foolish virgins, talking about being prepared for the bridegroom who is preparing to return. And in the final verse, you will hear Father sing about the heavenly Jerusalem, that vision that occurs in the book of Revelation, and those pearled gates, and that which is to come. So I prayed that this brief reflection on this wonderful Advent hymn can help turn all of our thoughts and minds to Christ, who will return to earth, whose birth we're preparing to commemorate and to celebrate on the beautiful feast of Christmas. But also at the same time, the call to wake up and be prepared to see how Christ comes into our life each and every day.
Wake, awake, for night is flying. The watchmen on the heights are crying. Awake, Jerusalem at last. Midnight hears the welcome voices, and at the thrilling cry rejoices. Come forth, you maidens, night is past. The bridegroom comes, awake. Your lamps with gladness take. Alleluia. Rise and prepare the feast to share. Go meet the bride. bridegroom who draws near. Gloria, let heaven adore you. Let saints and angels sing before you. With harp and cymbals clearest tone. Gates of pearl, 12 portals gleaming, lead us to bliss beyond all dreaming. With angel choirs around your throne, no eye has caught the light, no ear the thundering might of such glory. There